Hi guys, well DJI have dropped a huge update for the Mavic 3 series, and this includes the OG Mavic 3, Mavic 3 Classic and Mavic 3 Pro. If you haven't updated to this new firmware, we recommend you do because otherwise you're missing out on some excellent new features. The biggest addition in our opinion is that D-Log-M and Hybrid Log Gamma are now available in the 7x Tele camera. That's right. Now all three cameras share 3 color profiles, giving you even greater flexibility in your capture options on a shoot. Now does that mean that these color profiles on the 7x Tele unlock 10-bit color? Yes it does. This now gives you even more post-production flexibility when grading to match the other 2 cameras. So arguably before this update, the Tele camera was a bit of a novelty when it came to using it as a viable cinematic option, but this upgrade makes the Mavic 3 Pro a legitimate contender for the most versatile drone released to date. But that's not the only upgrade to the Tele cameras, with the medium 3x Tele camera now getting compatibility with both Quickshots and Mastershots. Great for adding parallax and depth of field to what was previously a pretty standard automated feature. But that's not all. I sound like I'm selling knives. Night mode functionality has been added to the medium Tele, supporting 4K 24, 25 and 30 frames per second. Again, raising this drone's functionality as a low light beast. The next impressive feature is something I didn't know that I wanted, but it absolutely has a huge functional impact to its safety features. Vision Assist utilizes the obstacle avoidance sensors as cameras that display a black and white image, providing greater situational awareness when flying. You can't access this when not in flight, but once you launch, swipe left on the bottom where the map area is, and this brings up the Vision Assist sensor cameras, and then you can choose to view the left, right, forward, or backwards sensor views. You'll also get some proximity warnings for any obstacles it detects with orange or red lines. Now given this is only black and white, but it is far better than not having it at all. I found this particularly helpful when you don't have a spotter and judging your distance to an object can be difficult, especially when orbiting. So by turning one of the side views on, you're able to see anything to your left or right depending on your orbit direction to confidently complete the flight path. Again, this wasn't something I thought I wanted, but now, depending on the scenario, I can use the Vision Assist to check the proximity to objects left and right instead of needing to physically move the drone and its main camera to check. This is a huge quality of life improvement. This firmware also now brings augmented reality to this drone's overlay. This firstly comes in the form of a H to show your home point on the camera screen. Now this has been available on the Mavic 3 Enterprise for a while now, so getting this on the consumer version is handy, especially when you're flying a little too far away or you're in an area where it might all look the same from a distance. The next augmented reality feature is when selecting the automated return to home feature, you now get an overlay of the drone's proposed flight path back to the home point so you can easily double check that there are no obstacles in the way. This isn't just a straight line also. If you're lower than your return to home altitude, the overlay will show the drone's ascent path as well as the descent to home. Now, of course, you're not going to need this every time, especially if you're in a clear area like we are here, but I can see a use for this if you're in a more built up area with trees or buildings, that this would be handy from a safety perspective. But also, it looks pretty cool. The last little feature is a drone shadow to pinpoint your exact landing position when you're dealing with maybe uneven terrain or an area that doesn't seem like it might be completely safe to land. This was actually pretty useful when testing this, as there were some rocks that weren't safe to land on, so visually seeing where the land point was going to be was actually pretty helpful. This is shown on your HUD whenever the drone is looking downward and not just when you're returning to home, and it uses the vision positioning system to increase the image the closer you get to the ground. Now, if you don't want to use any of these features, you can also turn these all off in the safety settings. Now, while we are in the settings, another little quality of life improvement, especially when it comes to cinematic capture settings, is the addition of frame guides under the camera settings. This adds a whole bunch of options to visually grey out areas so you have a clear view of the end result that you want. I think one of the most popular will be naturally the 9x16 portrait for shooting social content, so you can keep a subject in frame, allowing for an easier post-production crop. There are a whole bunch of others in here too, so check those out, including mobile, square, or even widescreen. Lastly, here's a table to show you the upgrades to each of the Mavic 3 series. As you can see, the Pro gets the biggest benefit with those color profile upgrades to the Tele and additional medium Tele upgrades to Quickshots, Mastershots, and Night Mode. With the Mavic 3 and Classic getting firmware updates that add the Vision Assist, augmented reality, and frame guides. It's great to see DJI still supporting this drone, especially with such a huge boost to the Pro's tele camera on the back of the Air 3's release. And I think this clearly stamps the Mavic 3 Pro as the flagship prosumer drone. If you learned something from this video, would love if you give it a like. It helps others like you enjoy more drone content. Well, until next time guys, happy flying.